sports, and of course, LIV Golf was absolutely magnificent here in our city, Baz. I know you love your golf.
Well,
has it been the greatest golf event we've had in South Australia?
Oh, I would say comfortably. I mean, we've had some beauties. Oh no, mate, you have to think. We've had Australian Opens here. But this is I think this would have
next
to
level.
be
Next level. All right, let's go to our golf pro, the man at Grange, who was at the course and saw it all. Of course, Gary Simpson joins us. Gaz, thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks for having me back.
Have you seen a better tournament in South Australia?
No. I think Cam Smith said it was probably one of the best tournaments he's ever played in.
Well, I think that sums it up. Okay, it's been a great talk. Hey, 77,000 people came through the gates, and I've spoken to a lot of people that went, you guys included, that have said, and people at the Grange Golf Course almost said they sealed it at 77,000 so they could get it going and put on an outstanding show. Those numbers could double or triple, and we've got it for the next 4 years. Could you see that happening?
Definitely. It was a bit of a test run to see just how many people they could get around the golf course without really pushing it that hard. They probably could have got another 15,000 in there, I would have thought. Some of the holes where some of the players were at, there was plenty of vantage points. I went out one day and sat on the 16th green. I could see the 13th green, the 14th tee, the 17th tee, all in that one spot. Brilliant.
Yeah, unbelievable. And Chase Koepka said an interesting thing that he plays on PGA Tour, or did, that he'd never played where the fairways were just lined with, which is a really strange. You wouldn't have thought that, given that he'd played on the PGA Tour. But he said he'd never seen crowds like that on every hole where the fairways are just lined with people. That is just amazing.
Yeah, that was going back to the old Norman era back in the late 80s, 90s, where it was 10 deep every hole when Norman was playing, and that was happening on 5 or 6 holes because there were so many amazing players playing in the tournament.
Staggering, mate. Staggering.
Taylor Gooch wins it, gets a lazy 4 mil on his way through, but he had a first 2 days were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then the third day, he started to look like he might choke, and we were talking about it off air. Could have been the biggest choke of all time. What do you see, Gary? Draw a line between, we saw it with the Crows and Collingwood, if we use that as an example, a footy example, and there was talk about Gooch made choke. What do you, in golf terms, what do you think causes that hesitancy to go off the boil, if you like?
Well, having shot 62-62 and having a 10-shot lead, you don't know really what to expect the next day.
Yep.
You don't know whether you're going to come out firing again. You'd think you would do, but having such a huge lead, it almost makes you relax too much and not be as aggressive as what you were in the first 2 rounds. I'm sure he had words with his caddy saying he was going to do the same thing, go out there and play the same, but your fear, your instincts, your brain's telling you you're going to win, messes with your mind. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, every commentator, almost to a man, will say it during the telecast at some stage. They'll say, oh, well, he shot a 62 in that first round. It's very hard to back up again. They say that all the time, regardless of who the player is.
It's good commentary because he shot 62 the next day.
Exactly right, he did.
Unusual for commentators to be wrong.
Yeah, but that happens a lot where they say that. They say, oh, it's hard to back up if you've had a really, really good round.
Unbelievable
round. He backed up all right.
Yeah.
But I can see your point there, mate. He would have gone to sleep that night going, wow, please just be over tomorrow. I've got a 10-shot lead, but, wow. Look who's behind me.
Yeah, let me get round in 3 or 4 under and no one's catching me. And as it was, he was, I think he was 2 or 3 over at one stage.
I think he birdied the first hole he played, didn't he?
He did, yeah. And but had a few bogeys. He had a shot on the 8th hole from 90 metres and knifed it over the back of the green and
that's right.
Missed the green again with his chip shot, and then luckily got it up and down, and then he made another bogey and then made a double bogey. So all of a sudden he went from a 10-shot lead, almost 11-shot lead, to only having a 4-shot lead, I think, with 9 holes or 8 holes to play.
And then you start to get a bit wobbly.
Yeah, and then you start thinking about it.
Especially when you have a look at the leaderboard and see the names that were coming, the boys that were coming behind him.
Definitely.
Because they were some, they have a go at LIV a lot, but boy, I think LIV's got the names. They've got the people, the players that the people want to see.
Yep.
Whereas the PGA Tour, I think they'd be looking at it going, wow, we need a character.
Yeah.
We need a tiger.
Well, you're looking at players that have played for years and years. They've won majors. Who doesn't want to go out and watch a guy who's won a major? Like, I wanted to go watch them. I wanted to go see these guys play.
Yeah.
Like they're they're phenomenal. They're the best of the best. And to have them at your own back door, well, the crowds only tell you it's 77,000 people. They were there all watching these guys.
Yeah, I've got to ask you, mate, about the watering hole. Now, I'm a great fan of having
hole in one,
having a few beers, and everything's terrific and whatever. Having a party, because that's what the hole was all about.
Yep.
I just thought we may have been a fraction over the top by hurling beers at a guy who's just had a hole in one. I mean, for television and for everything else, it was amazing. But I just thought maybe we went over the top a little bit there with that hole. The noise and all that was phenomenal. It was unbelievable. But what are your thoughts there?
It'll be interesting to see what happens next year. I know one of the greenkeepers, when they were picking up the rubbish, got concussed. So, and another two of the other greenkeepers got hit. So I think they might be changing their cups next year instead of the cans. But I also saw bottles of water being thrown as well. So
exactly.
how do you stop bottles of water being thrown?
That's a problem. I think that's a problem.
I think they'll have a little bit more security next year. I'm hearing they might make it a 2-story hole.
Yeah.
So we might be squeezing another maybe 20,000 people around that hole. So...
one of the players said that it was He said it was deafening. It was deafening. You could not hear. He could not hear his caddy. Now, mate,
Brooks.
his caddy is standing right next to him.
Yeah.
He couldn't hear him. Oh, that's amazing.
So I know he said afterwards that every hole after that he got a standing ovation as he arrived at the next hole. So it had a little Happy Gilmore feel about it, didn't it?
Oh, most definitely.
You know, and you kind of go, so we're engaging the younger generation to celebrate, and the older ones that just want to see pure golf, they're there. Are we starting to diversify golf with the fan base now?
Most definitely, yeah.
Which it needs to be done?
Yeah, for sure. It's a breath of fresh air for golf. You see golfers, their characters don't come out, whereas last week, I saw some of the players more relaxed than I'd ever seen them before.
Exactly.
They were talking with people in the crowds, they were having a bit of a laugh, they were acknowledging a lot more. I think Phil wore his thumbs out, giving thumbs up everywhere, so... totally different demographic of people there. Age group was amazing, yeah.
It
That's
kind
a very
of has
good
that
point.
feel, doesn't it? That the players look like they can finally interact.
Yep.
The fans are loving it. It's just got a great feel about it. I think the PGA is going to have to change. Their chance, your question was a good one. The only way they can get there now is with an emerging young star, or they've got to start to template a little bit off of LIV. They don't have to be, the party 12th round, but they're going to have to relax a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a good point made on social media. I saw an American come in and say, hey, I think we've got to learn that golf doesn't... that we don't own golf. That's what he said.
Yeah.
America doesn't own golf.
No, it doesn't.
And I think the LIV Golf coming to Australia has proved that point, that they can go anywhere in the world, they'll get the same crowds, because golf is an international game loved by millions and played by... This is the point. Golf is played by millions, isn't it? I mean, it's a great sport.
Global.
And it's a massive sport. But a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people think, golf's for the, bloke wearing fancy pants and playing Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
No, there is millions that play the game.
Yeah.
So
Plus
get out of America.
Plus the entertainment side of the golf tournament. They had DJ Fisher came in. He was playing in Coachella in America, flew back for this event, played a hour-and-a-half set, jumped on a plane, flew back. 16 hours he was in Australia for.
It's not bad. Hey, Gary, I know you're doing the commentary for SEN. At times you were the spectator as well. And then you've got your coach's hat on, which you're doing at the Grange Golf Course. Do you find at times you're dissecting the way the players are hitting it and think that's something you might be able to take to your athlete? Or is it... Can you let yourself go and just enjoy it as well? Is there a mix
in there? A bit of both, yeah. I took a few notes on the routines of the players, because they're in when they get into a state of playing golf, like any sportsman at a high level, you get into your own world, and you could see these guys when they were practicing on the practice fairway, they were 100% focused on every shot, just like they would on a golf course. Whereas you see guys that I coach will have a bucket of balls and they'll rifle 30 balls out in about 15, 20 seconds. So there's no routine, there's no structure. So that's a good avenue that everyone needs to learn. You've got to take your time. You've got to do every shot. Every shot counts.
Is their routine similar? Well,
very similar. Yeah, absolutely. Very, very similar in all the golfers.
Last one. What can we do better, mate? I mean, very hard to top. Because someone said that very hard to top anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
That tournament in Adelaide. Don't care about what we can do better, but we will do it better, won't we? I mean, we're good at it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's going to be a lot more buzz around it next year. Now that we've got through the first initial one and the hype was so real, there's probably going to be another tournament from what I'm hearing in Australia as well. So the players get a chance to come out, spend a bit more time here, which was one of the big issues. They had a real big problem saying they didn't have enough time here to look around. They wanted to go check out the wineries, go check out some of the nice restaurants. They just didn't have enough time. So I can guarantee you next year, when the schedule comes out, I guarantee you the players will be here a week earlier.
Well, Gary, great to catch up
Fantastic.
with our expert down at the LIV Golf. It was fantastic. Going to be bigger and better for the next 4 years here in South Australia. Stay with us. Still plenty to come.